Hello, this is Joshua Blocker, Blocker Ministries. It's been a while since I posted, and I'm sorry about that. It's been hectic here and there. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and so it's just been one of those things of timing. But the things that I would like to say, it's on my mind for a while, and it's more or less to do with your heart and your cleanliness inside, basically your way of representing and portraying your faith and your Christianity, if you will, and your relationship with the Lord, and just keeping yourself pure. In the scriptures, it talks about in Matthew 6, it starts off in 21, and I'll read it real quick so we'll get started into what we're going to talk about. But it basically says, wherever your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And so basically, it's really big on wherever you put your time, wherever you put your most efforts, that's where your treasure's at. And so you have to really determine where your treasure is going to be. Is it going to be in the Lord? Is it going to be for Him? Is it going to be in the world? So you got to really determine there. And it goes on to say in verse 22, it basically says, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eye is good, then your whole body will be of light. Okay, and that's also referring to what you're taking in, what you're allowing into your body, what you're allowing into your mind. There's a lot of things that go around that. The world is a dark place, and we are the light of the world. And when we allow dark things to come into our lives, or things that come into our life that are kind of taboo, getting into sin, getting into different worldly things, it causes issues with your life and your relationship. And all the years I've been alive, it's always been a struggle at times, but there's always that battle between good and evil, so you got to keep fighting for that. Then to finish it up in that verse, it goes into verse 23. It says, but if your eyes are bad, then your whole body will be full of darkness. And if the light within you is darkness, then how great is that darkness? And so the gist of the passage is that when we conduct ourselves and we have the light of basically the light of the Lord shining through us, and so we're on different calls, we're on different runs, and you're just around somebody, you portray what's inside of you. You portray what's on your heart. You portray different things that they see, and they see this stuff. I mean, these people, they look at you and they can see that. You portray an aura around you that portrays either good or bad. You portray light or darkness. So there's many examples of that. Many times when I'm on the job, and you can ask a lot of people that know me, there's been situations where we've been down in, say, a training exercise, and I'm standing next to somebody that's, I'll give you an example. It's a real event. So there's a guy getting cash out of a cash machine. I'm standing next to him. We're in line to use basically the facilities at the gas station to get ready to go to some training. And this gentleman sees me, and he looks at me, and he just got this look, he looks at me, and I said maybe just a few words to him. I didn't say a whole lot. But we have another officer that's basically standing next to me that's close. And so this guy, he looks like he's from the middle part of downtown of the city. He's from that area of town where you're like, oh, this is kind of sketchy. But this guy, he looks at me and he goes, you have a good spirit. And I'm like, thank you, and we talked a little bit more, and I shared a little bit more with him. And then he turns to this younger officer and goes, you need to listen to him. He's got a good spirit. And so it was just back and forth a little bit, and then basically I gave him like a half hug, and we said a short prayer, and he's off on his way. But it was just that light that portrayed. I don't see it. I didn't see it at all, but he obviously recognized it, and our souls attached, and that's where it went from there. Another situation where I was on a different call, we were dealing with neighbors that weren't really getting along, and this neighbor was in a fury. I mean, he was madder than heck. Get on the call, and I'm talking with him. I'm like, dude, just relax. Just basically, at this point, forgive the guy, you know, go up and ask him to be, forgive you for all the past stuff you got going on, you know. And he looks at me and he goes, you know, you have an aura around you, like a white aura around you. And I'm like, well, I don't know what you're referring to. I don't see that, you know. He goes, no, he says, really, you do. You have an aura around you that's kind of like amazing. I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't see that. But I appreciate that, and I took it for a grain of salt and moved on. So you do have an aura, and other people see it. There's other situations where the Lord will just give you a word for somebody. You're walking through, and you just see somebody, and the Lord just gives you a word. But it comes up from inside of you. The Lord puts those in you, and if you don't have good stuff coming in, you're not going to put out good stuff. And so if you don't have, if you're around people all the time that are either cursing, they're using bad language, or they're using avenues that are dark, they're constantly in stuff that's taboo, you're gonna reap taboo. You're gonna give out the stuff. So you got to watch that. I've noticed the difference. I'm on different ships. I've seen the difference. So you got to watch that as well. And it's very difficult sometimes when you're around folks that are just constantly using the language or different things. So that it's something to be thinking about. So it's a constant thing to keep grounded, to keep coming back to the Lord, to keep focus on what's important versus being around folks that will lead you astray in some other ways. We're to be a light, and we're to be in those realms, but we're not to be part of them. So we're supposed to be being a light, so we lead people to the Lord, but not jumping in the pond with them and muddling in the pitch. You know, that's basically a taboo. So those are something to think about. I'll be praying for you. Lift you guys up. I love you guys. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. But just remember that what you're allowing into your eyes is a big deal. What you're allowing into your body is a big deal. And so our job is to portray life, and to be a beacon of light for the Lord. And so that's the 2 cents I have so far. So if you have any questions, comments, let me know. Love you guys, and I'll see you in a few.